2 more weeks, 3 more games, 4.5 more playing hours for Liverpool's transformative leader. So how will the podium look? Liverpool with the bronze medal now secure to stay in the race for gold, at least theoretically, into the penultimate weekend. Spurs, thanks to Villa's defeat, with an enhanced interest in fourth, and all of that can mean, but beyond all of that, here in its own context, just Liverpool against Tottenham, a fixture which in itself has so often been compelling. Perhaps, Gary, we could just enjoy a really good game.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Tottenham have been given a chance. Liverpool want to finish the season as strongly as possible.
See the teams going through at the bottom there. Liverpool, one change from West Ham. Mo Salah starts, as you will have heard. Ryan Gravenberch gives way. Virgil van Dijk is fine. Spurs without Werner, Davies, Udogie. They picked 10 of the 11 who started at Chelsea. Rodrigo Bentancur comes back into midfield. Richarlison drops out. And it is Son who has a formidable record in this fixture, playing through the middle. Basuma. Kulusevski now from wide. First pass for Robertson. Porro's joining in. And Endo sees it behind for Tottenham's first corner in front of the Vicon.
Yeah, good little start for Spurs.
A fixture which, whilst it has produced plenty of goals at either end, hasn't favoured Tottenham in recent history. They haven't won here since 2011. With depth and outswing, Van Dijk went to meet it. Salah chased it out. Mr. Royale, the emergency left back, came to fetch it back. Son is fouled, and Tottenham have a free kick.
Yeah, he just lost out on a little 50-50. Alexander-Arnold, and then a little bit of a panic up, thinking that Son might be moving away from him with no support. This is dangerous. A1 position for Porro. Just where he'd want it.
Porro has come over from right to left to offer a right-footed in whip. Van de Ven and Romero are right at the front of Tottenham's queue. Porro does whip it actually towards Sarr. It came back to Basuma, who heaves it high and wide. Special day for him too. He was brought up a Liverpool supporter. He spent his boyhood dreaming perhaps of a day like this. Pity actually that the Klopp-Postecoglou rivalry won't have a chance to mature to really engaging characters, each at a different point of his professional adventure.
Yeah, I can see why Son's frustrated. Virgil van Dijk just hesitating, and Son just wants to be sprint start.
Quansah. Salah. Back in the side after his grumpy moment. Few really doubted it. So, carried by Johnson. Moving down the neck of Emerson Royale. Vicario had time. By Robertson with purpose around Porro. Robertson's cross into the midriff of Vicario.
Didn't have much in the middle. Spurs had started well, but he intercepts, and there isn't much reaction. Salah just stays on the edge of the box, sort of moves a little bit.
By Robertson with purpose around Porro. Robertson's cross into the midriff of Vicario.
Yeah, he did well, Robertson, but he didn't have much in the middle. Spurs had started well, but he intercepts and then there isn't much reaction. Salah just stays on the edge of the box, sort of moves a little bit late once Harvey Elliott runs across him.
Bentancur is the third man in Tottenham's midfield today. The adjustment since an unhappy first evening at Stamford Bridge. Brennan Johnson. Well, Bissouma.
Yeah, this is the third Tottenham game in a week and they've started the other two games really poorly. This one they've started well. A little sharpness in the passing, and when Liverpool are in possession they're really getting close as quickly as they can.
Bissouma, whose old mates at Brighton have done Spurs a favour today, and by Bentancur. Bissouma has stayed down.
Yeah, there's no foul. Robertson just really well matches the run.
Played a good chunk of football this season as Yves Bissouma, 25th start in the Premier League. Of course, he was away with Mali at the African Cup of Nations as well. Though Spurs, as a club, have played what will be almost the minimum season without Europe. There's Gary's point about a strong start for Tottenham. Endo, Diaz. Away from him, Kulusevski.
Yeah, what both Chelsea and Arsenal have done, Liverpool are trying to, look how narrow that Liverpool team is. They're allowing the ball to go wide, but not through the middle, and they're really trying to get it through there. Red body's packed in there. Chelsea did it, Arsenal did it. That's the sort of where the idea comes from, that people have worked out Tottenham, show them why they've not got much to give because they want to come through the middle of you in midfield.
Harvey Elliott, acreage ahead of Salah. It's Salah against the crossbar, and Diaz, and Robertson, and Elliott lifted up towards Gakpo, and hoisted off Salah's toe by Van de Ven, out by Emerson Royal, back in by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and clear by Porro. Gakpo. Endo. Narrative for each of these teams pretty similar. They run in parallel. They've gone cold through April into May. McAllister.
Mo Salah was his pass.
Nice ball. Bentancur. Sarr. Lost out to Elliott, who has Salah as a friend. And he's played in Mo Salah! Vicario threw out a boot, Elliott followed up. Romero made the block on the line. Liverpool are finding their gears.
Yeah, it was a good start by Spurs, but it's pretty scruffy in the last couple of minutes. He was vital in keeping the scoreline 0-0. Salah hits it well across the goalkeeper, who gets something on it, and then he's just grateful that his centre-back was behind him to make sure he didn't handball it. That was the main problem for Romero. This is the Salah one that started it. He tries to drift it to the back post. Diaz and Gakpo making the runs. Just an awkward one for the goalkeeper, who flaps at it.
Son Heung-min, Dejan Kulusevski, leaning away from Diaz. Papsar, Romero had an interesting game on this ground last year, 4-3 thriller that one was. Okay, he conceded a penalty as Spurs went 3-0 down in next to no time for a foul on Gakpo. Played a beautiful through ball for Son Heung-min. He hit the post.
He's always involved, Romero. Can't keep him out of the game.
And Paul Tierney was the referee for that game, as indeed, as you see, he is here. And there was a lot of heat on him. Afternoon, right at the end of last April, when Jurgen Klopp pulled up lame, celebrating in the face of the fourth official. Van Dijk's clearance came to Bissouma. Endo. Alexander-Arnold. Salah, another problem for Royal. Salah, blocked by Bentancur, came out for Son. Space ahead of Brennan Johnson. Taken away by Endo, protected by McAllister. Robertson's there ahead of Kulusevski, but Sarr claims it for Spurs. Endo rolls on him and Tottenham have a free kick.
Yeah, he did well, Sarr.
Real. Johnson. Brennan Johnson in with Kulusevski. Thrashed away by Endo. Liverpool 1 win in 5 in the Premier League, 2 home defeats on the spin. Spurs 3 successive defeats, 4 on the road without a win. 2 of this season's big 5, front 5, labouring towards the finishing line. But a bright start.
Yeah, when he was given this fixture a month ago, you were thinking it would be one of the big games of the season. It's sort of not materialised in that way.
Salah. Kronsa coming for him towards the end of what has been a breakthrough season. Stately young centre-half, he's looking nervous too. And that's a super ball for Diaz. Drives into Porro and beyond. Kulusevski helps out his fullback. But it is a Liverpool corner.
No, he's not happy, Kulusevski. He feels that as he intercepts, gets back and doubles up on Diaz, that he's fouled. There is an arm on him. They're usually given. That one wasn't.
McAllister. Harvey Elliott. Nicked on towards Salah! The flag was up.
Goes up and probably saves. There's quite a lot of complaints still going on. Tierney, the referee, Son's around him, Bentancur and Kulusevski, they're not letting go. He's offside, Salah. He's still not happy.
Son Heung-min, captain, continuing to make the point. On the occasion, by the way, of his 300th appearance in the Premier League, Son. And he's on to it here. Kulusevski, Son, Bentancur, Bissouma, Son, Bentancur, Porro, Bissouma. Sarr. Johnson. Flashed across the face without a touch.
Oh, it was really good. I thought it was a really good ball into the middle. I think Kulusevski and Son, let's watch them here at the back. Can they do more? Can they bust a gut to get in? Yes, they can. Kulusevski's on his heels. Should be flying in there. But he'll be a lot happier, the Tottenham manager. The first half on Thursday evening, he was furious with them. They had no intent and urgency in the performance, and they're playing here at least, giving it a right go in his first 15 minutes. And that's important to him, important to every manager.
We lost sight, didn't we, of his easygoing, imperturbable self. He was an angry chap.
Yeah, I think it was just the attitude of the performance, not really anything in possession or out of possession. They weren't sprinting to the ball, they were really passive.
That's a nice spread. Gakpo. Lifted in by Gakpo. Salah! There's that big, broad, starry smile again.
There's been a lot of headlines around, well, him and Mo Salah in this last week or two. But that's his 18th Premier League goal of the season, and that is a hell of a statistic and tells you what you need to know when people think he's not at the best of seasons and he's still hitting those numbers. Emerson Royale the other night against Madueke and Cole Palmer really struggled, and he's got Mo Salah up against him, and the timing of the run is perfect. He's looking across the line and he just sets off. It's a lovely little delivery to the back post. It's a tight angle for him. For me, the goalkeeper's got to stand up. He's falling backwards and away. He should stand up, and I think he should do better. But take nothing away from Mo Salah. He's a goal-scoring great.
He now has 9 in the Premier League against Tottenham Hotspur, and 6 in his last 7 games against Spurs here at Anfield. This game is a happy habit for him. After a grumbly week, he has changed the mood, the dynamic, his way again. Had gone 6 Premier League games without a goal other than from the penalty spot.
Going back to the last time I watched Mo Salah live was in the Merseyside derby, and he really struggled. He didn't get in the game at all, but he's been all over this first 20 minutes.
Endo. McAllister. Robertson. Gakpo. Week goes by without a Tottenham clean sheet. They have been very scarce of late. Gakpo, Diaz. Lent upon by Bissouma. He's feeling that.
Yeah, it was a foul. He didn't look too bad, but he's not comfortable with it. Just twisted his ankle, maybe.
Liverpool, though, in a good place in a fixture which has treated them well down the years. Actually, it's the third successive season these two have met at Anfield at this climactic point in the campaign. 2 years ago this weekend, a 1-1 draw here. You could easily argue that that was the day Liverpool lost the title that year. They went top on goal difference with 3 to play, but City had a game in hand. And a year and a week ago, it's a mad 4-3 game, which was won by Diogo Jota very late. Meet. Alexander-Arnold didn't quite get there, did he? No, it is a goal kick.
Yeah, a lot of Liverpool's joy's been down that Tottenham left. Obviously, Ben Davies is not there, Udogie's not there. Big losses to Tottenham Hotspur, and this is the goal. Just watch as it comes across eventually to Gakpo. Just see that back post. You see Emerson Royal, is he looking over his shoulder? Does he know where Mo Salah is? No, he looked once and he doesn't look again, and I count that to be 2 or 3 seconds without looking. And if you do that as a fullback, see, he looks once, and then if you don't look again, you're dead, you're done. He doesn't know where he is, no idea. And that's the classic fullback mistake when the ball's on the opposite side.
Gakpo. Oh, it's broken here for Diaz. Vicario threw his frame at it. Liverpool still have the ball with Gakpo, and Porro belts it behind.
It just rebounds into the path, or back into the path of Diaz. Well, we had some problems in the last week with Spurs on set pieces. Vicario in particular has looked a little anxious. What are Liverpool going to do with him?
Two free kicks on Thursday at Chelsea. That terrific Chalobah header, and moment of some misfortune when Palmer hit the bar and Jackson followed up at his expense.
You see there, he's pushing Gakpo already.
Alexander-Arnold away for another one.
This corner. It was just Romero got a touch on it. I mean, I'd be putting it right on top of the goalkeeper. I wouldn't even hesitate.
Perhaps with that in mind. Spring day, the Anfield Road has its hand over its eyes. And Robertson delivers and Vicario comes through the crowd.
Yeah, just well. A big moment for him. Catching that first one in the game.
The Spurs' defensive record, and therefore his, has declined over the second part of the season. Kept 4 clean sheets in those first unbeaten 10 games before the crazy game against Chelsea. Only 2 since then.
Yeah, very good first part of the season, Vicario. He very composed. It's just in the last couple of weeks playing like he's got frogs in his pants. He's jumping around like mad. He's making me nervous up here. I've never had frogs in my pants, by the way, so for those of you listening at home,
it's reassuring. Romero, Porro. Snap back by Alexander-Arnold. Gakpo. Stopped by Bissouma. Kulusevski. Johnson. Take on Robertson, who stayed with him. Salah's in a cul-de-sac. Settled for winning the throw.
I think it'll be really interesting at the end of the season to see which players Ange Postecoglou feels, which positions he feels like he needs to strengthen. I look at the two midfield players, Bissouma and Sarr, and I think from an energy perspective, I think he'll like that because they can get to the ball, but then I wonder whether they're good enough on the ball for him, the way he likes to play.
Well, he has been very forthright this last week or so, hasn't he, about his plans, his intentions, his robust belief in himself, but very obviously in the need for change. There's no point staying the same and expecting things to get better.
Yeah, I think the two centre-backs are a certainty. I think Anderson and Romero, I think he'll like the look of that. He'll want to work with that and see them improve and become a top centre-back pairing, not just in this country, but potentially in Europe, if he can keep them together.
He was, lest we forget, Ange Postecoglou, the manager of the month for August, September, October. And we'd love next year for it to be March, April, May. Gakpo. Embo. Salah. Robertson. Gakpo. Robertson. Gakpo. Flags up. Gary, the shortcoming that you pointed out around Emerson Royal losing Salah for the corner, can that have, or for the goal, can that have anything to do with cutting him some slack, playing on the wrong side?
Yes, it can. I mean, certainly in terms of sort of just your understanding of the game. If you're a right back and you go and play at left back, people might think that it's similar, but it's obviously a different side of the pitch. You're looking over your different shoulder, and that provides awkwardness. I mean, I did play at United in probably the first 10 years of my career with right-footed left-backs. Dennis Irwin, my brother John O'Shea, all were right-footed left-backs, and they coped with it really well. But the principle of looking over your shoulder, that 1 second rule of sort of making sure that you look at the ball, you look at your man, you look at the ball, you look at your man, he broke that rule. And if you break that rule when the ball's on the opposite side with a player with time and space, you're going to have problems potentially, particularly against Salah. I mean, he's one of the best. Timing his runs. It's the best I've seen Gakpo for a bit this first half an hour. In that more central position.
Concept. Alexander-Arnold. Good stop by Sarr. Elliott. Van Dijk. Alexander-Arnold for Salah. And Salah moving it in towards tumbling Luis Diaz. Romero behind.
Yeah, they're picking on that side. The switch from Virgil van Dijk over to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold ordinarily plays a lot narrower than this, but he's gone on that far side pretty wide today.
Enjoying what he's seeing.
Yeah, just ganging up on Emerson Royal on that side.
Alexander-Arnold beyond Gakpo all the way through to Salah, who was lurking at the back. Alexander-Arnold's poked away behind again by Pedro Porro.
There's a short one.
Elliott was lively of mind. McAllister can whip it in. Salah's hiding again. Salah re-delivers. Elliott, what a beautiful take. He set it back behind Quansah and the flag was up.
It was close.
Just tight control. Bentancur for Tottenham. Hungry for a bit of the ball. Bissouma. Romero. He hasn't had a shot since the one and only one after 3 minutes, Ange Postecoglou. Last Spurs boss to win here, Harry Redknapp, May 2011. Van der Vaart's screamer, a Modric penalty. Ryan Mason brought them here last spring. And was 3-0 down in quarter of an hour. Porro, that's nicely weighted. Van Dijk had to be on his mettle to get ahead of Son. Gakpo. Bissouma. Bentancur. Porro. Villa's defeat earlier means that Liverpool's third place is absolutely cemented now. Alexander-Arnold, that's awkward for Romero, who read the bounce adeptly.
Yeah, really good from Romero. Fantastic cross from Liverpool right back.
Anfield's got a taste for this. Caught the mood of the players. Here's Gakpo. He's gone flying. Paul Tierney's waved it away. Brennan Johnson is hurrying away. And here's Son Heung-min. Son. Bentancur. Porro. And nicked clear by McAllister. And Diaz gathering pace. Salah's up with him, Gakpo's up with him. Diaz has seen Mo Salah! And hurtling back was Emerson Royal.
He did really well, Emerson Royal. He's just a yard in front of the Tottenham left back and he controls it beautifully into his path. This is the penalty shout. He just puts a foot out, but he doesn't follow through with it, and it's not a penalty for me. Gakpo jumps. It's not a penalty for me. It's just a big, exaggerated belly flop from Gakpo.
Bissouma. Bentancur, a lot of space ahead of Johnson. Johnson's made good progress, but Alexander-Arnold had weighed it all up smartly.
Yeah, it was good. Good defending. He's got that situation where he thinks that Brennan Johnson might just tuck back in on his right foot. He's got to get both sides covered.
weekend's Premier League football spills into a Monday night this weekend, and from 6:30 tomorrow, Crystal Palace against Manchester United is the game on Sky Sports Premier League. Palace in terrific form right now under Oliver Glasner. Endo, neat little ball for Diaz. No Salah. Elliott. All the way through Emerson Royale, but Konsa can take it back. Gakpo. Endo. Salah. Up by Romero. Robertson! He caught it okay. And there is a quietish penalty appeal.
I thought he headed it, but we are about 100 metres away. I just thought he ducked his head down.
It was nothing more than a polite inquiry, and it's come to nothing. Elliott. McAllister. Diaz. Robertson. Gakpo. Cody Gakpo. Mario had a view of it.
Yeah, this last 15-20 minutes, Liverpool getting far too much space in and around Tottenham's box. Some lovely football being played though. Harvey Elliott's pass there was brilliant into McAllister.
Is that, do you think, partly down to the notion of relaxation, that the pressure is to some extent released on Liverpool now?
Yeah, I think so. They're playing some good football. Spurs just struggling to play through them. You look at those red shirts, they're very sort of narrow, as we've seen. That's where Tottenham want it in there with those two central midfield players. Liverpool are happy when it goes out wide.
Again for Johnson. Emerson Royale had underlapped. Johnson couldn't exploit the space he'd made.
These players can't relax even if their positions are fixed, because quite a few of them have got to keep really in shape and in form and alert for the European Championships. Many of them will play for their countries. You can't just switch it off.
That's certainly one of them. There's Pedro Porro. Son juggling. Though nicked it from him, and now Salah can have a look. Gakpo. Elliott. Alexander-Arnold's gone beyond him. Gakpo again. Elliott. Emerson Royale made a barrier. Konsa. Salah. McAllister for Salah and Gakpo. Partially out by Romero. Alexander-Arnold. And Diaz.
Barrage of shots. Romero clears initially, but then it comes back. Another block, this time Emerson Royale. A spectacular attempt by Diaz.
Diaz has scored in each of the last two home games against Tottenham. Of course, he did also score what is probably, against Tottenham, the most infamous disallowed goal in the history of the Premier League. Kulusevski.
Javier should have played it. Salah had spun on Emerson Royale. Moves in. Still in.
Once Salah. Elliott, Robertson, Gakpo, Robertson, that's Romero, and behind for a goal kick.
I've never seen a defender make as many blocks as interceptions as Romero. He literally is a magnet for the ball.
Given away by Romero to Elliott, who got a shade fortunate. McAllister, Alexander-Arnold lifted it with his left.
Well, this all came from Romero getting caught on the ball. Really sloppy pass. And he makes another block. He does well to bring it back inside, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Christian Romero has been a staple for Tottenham. Love him or hate him, he has some hugely effective games. Of course, he was sent off in the ridiculous game against Chelsea in November, served a 3-game ban after that, was injured for a couple in December. But those games aside, he has begun 29 of the 34, now 30 of 35 in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's such an infectious player, Christian Romero. The one thing I would say, I'd like to see him less involved in the game. It sounds crazy, but the very best centre-backs, they're usually in the right position. They don't normally have to make as many blocks or as interceptions as desperately as he does. Maybe that'll just come as he gets more games under his belt, becomes more experienced. He's got a great enthusiasm about him.
Sarr, I think, was the player reluctant to retreat for Liverpool's free kick. Tierney has a yellow card ready for him. Sarr in the book. Elliott's won that well. Gakpo. Elliott. Harvey Elliott beaten out by Vicario and scratched away by Bentancur. Alexander-Arnold. Elliott. Gakpo. McAllister beautifully manoeuvred. Alexander-Arnold. Robertson. Salah. Robertson 2. He's loving that one. And Liverpool are enjoying life again.
Yeah, it's what they deserve. Last 25 minutes, they've been really comfortable in the game, but they've attacked with real verve. Is he asking for an offside, or is he complaining to one of his players? The only question on this is whether Robertson at the far post is onside, but I think he is. A kiss to the family, I would expect and suspect. But on that far side, there's just so much space. Great little pass, onside, Romero's playing them on, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold just stands it up to the back post. Plays it back into a dangerous area, and he's onside. Andy Robertson, it's too easy. It's all Vicario can do, really, is push it back out. He's at full length when he makes that save.
And for Andy Robertson, who has been a thread running through the Klopp era. Goals in successive weekends. He got one just after half-time down at West Ham last Saturday morning. And now he's got one to remember at Anfield. Just 2 minutes to add on. One of those has already passed.
Yeah, they started brightly, Spurs. Postecoglou urged them to get out there and play, and should have been better in this first half than they were in the previous two matches, but they faded after Liverpool scored. Not really shown that much. Now Liverpool completely dominant. It's the other way around in the first 10 minutes.
Son, Porro, by Elliott, Gakpo, lovely take, and he's set free. Mo Salah, and Vicario's starting position was bang on. And that's half-time, and it has been a very pleasant one. Sunday night, and that plays into Tottenham's narrative. Tottenham could do themselves a huge favour by somehow digging something out here. That last Champions League position is still, at least theoretically, up for grabs. But it will require from Ange Postecoglou a real upturn in form, away from home in particular. Their form has suffered a terrible downturn. 18 points from their first 9 away games up to Christmas, 2 points a game, and just 6 points from 8 away games since Christmas.
Time thinking about how Spurs can get back in this game. Oh, that might be one way.
Well, Bissouma has stolen from Endo. There's Son. Konsa came importantly to intervene. And now Endo picks his way out. McAllister. Elliott kept on moving. Salah has space in the view of goal. Mo Salah didn't catch him right.
It's a field day, Mo Salah. Right side. That's a foul.
Kulusevski allowed to go. Son gives it him back. Van Dijk lengthens his stride.
Someone's getting booked. Van de Ven.
Tierney let the game go and then went back to complete his admin. And now Van de Ven in the referee's book. There's Bentancur.
I was just about to finish saying at half-time, you're wondering how Spurs can get back in this game and you're struggling to come up with an idea how. A difficult week, obviously North London derby away at Chelsea, now away at Liverpool, and just look a little legless in their performances. Maybe the bench is a route forward for Ange Postecoglou.
Very well to find Salah. Alexander-Arnold. Bentancur wanted to carry it out. Doing so effectively, and Kulusevski has given it him back. Also covering Son's run. Van Dijk, and whom there was some sort of a fitness query going into this game. He certainly exhibited no signs of vulnerability. So Robertson wouldn't be beaten. And now Diaz can look up. I saw Salah willing to get on his bike. And Elliott was joining him. Elliott's cross, Gakpo's header! And the Kop gobbles it up! Liverpool on a serene sunshine cruise. This is how they want to remember the year.
Yeah, well, Emerson Royale's day just got a lot worse. He doesn't know that Harvey Elliott's backing up play. He has no idea where he is. And he just sees an area at the back post that interests him. And Gakpo, I think, has been really good today. It's no mean feat to actually beat Romero, who's aggressive. He's good in the air, but he gets up early. And then he's still got a lot to do. There's not a lot of pace on the cross, so to get the power on the header and head it down into that corner is really good. A goal and an assist for Liverpool's number 18.
The goal Cody Gakpo scored against Spurs in London at the end of September has largely been forgotten in the wake of the narrative that unfolded in and after that game. The disallowed goal became much more famous, but he has now got one home and away against these opponents. 7 in the Premier League this year and 15 in all competitions, a fair return.
Left-back area is a real problem for Spurs. Both their first 2 choices missing. Still think Emerson Royal should be doing better. Cost over 20 million quid. Only 25 years of age. Just plays the game like someone who's struggling really with his legs. Looks like he doesn't know the position.
Alexander-Arnold. McAllister. Diaz. Endo. Diaz. Elliott. Salah! This is sweet from Liverpool. Behind by Emerson Royal for a corner.
Yeah, they move it across to this side of the pitch where they've had so much joy, and I don't think it'll be Mo Salah's last chance, but this is maybe just offside. But that's his classic position that he likes to score from with that left foot.
Well, it was 30 years ago last week that the great Cop Terrace of ancient legend stood for the final time. In by Elliott, up in the air by Romero. I was looking up that occasion just this morning, and there was a lot of Liverpool fanfare, and Kenny Dalglish was there, and Joe Fagan, the wife of Bob Paisley, the widow of Bill Shankly. And as they prepared to knock down the famous old cop, they made a promise that the spirit would survive. And 30 years on, it would appear that they've kept that promise. Diaz. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
What a run by Trent Alexander-Arnold, such force and power. Why didn't he just hit it with his left foot and trust that weaker side? Trying to bring it back onto that favoured right.
Well, Son. He always scores here. Sarr. Toro. Toro's cross and Johnson's header. Through from Alisson, a sharpish reaction.
Yeah, it's a good cross, good contact by Brennan Johnson, just in between Liverpool's defenders. Virgil van Dijk and Kwanzaa, both centre-backs, don't pick him up. Gets a good contact on their heads, it down. Just close enough to Alisson.
Johnson again. McAllister again, largely forgotten, but in that infamous game at Tottenham in September, Alisson had a fantastic game. Liverpool played so much of it with 9 men, and he made a series of extraordinary saves, notably from Maddison and Son. And ended up losing it to Matip's own goal, 90 plus whatever it was. Sarr. Toro. Son. Bentancur. Son. Away from Elliott. from Quansah, who waited this moment and stole. 300 Premier League games, the third Tottenham player to reach that mark, after Messrs Lloris and Kane, and the first Asian to play 300 matches in the Premier League, Son Heung-min.
He's on this left side, Son Heung-min in the second half. Brendan Johnson's gone through the middle, Kulusevski on the right.
Pushed out by Endo. Well, there's a lot of red on there. Liverpool had 15, and then Alisson made the save from Brennan Johnson.
And he's hurt himself, I think, Brennan Johnson. Might be okay.
Salah. Just away from Emerson Royal, who held him up and is booked. Strikes me that last graphic was a snooker table, wasn't it? 1 white and 15 reds. Yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Spurs are about to make 3 changes. Maddison, Skip and Richarlison down beneath us, preparing to come on. Robertson, Diaz, a problem for Van de Ven. He's offside. Alexander-Arnold. Little pocket for Elliott.
I think he brings a higher tempo to Liverpool, Harvey Elliott. He's a busy little player and he's just always moving it around quickly. Gets to the ball quickly. I think he adds impetus to them. He loves being over on this far side or this near side where we are. Just allows Mo Salah to go in more central as he receives the ball wide.
The classic diagonal. Robertson the cross. Salah the recipient. Harvey Elliott skipping. Elliott shooting. Oh! Now that is quite something. It is a diamond of a goal from Harvey Elliott. Sweet and precious. Frame it and stick it on the mantelpiece of his life.
Big smile from Harvey Elliott and a big smile from his manager, and he gets congratulated by all, and so he should. He just looks like one of those players that's really popular with everybody, and he's certainly popular in this ground now. The switch from Trent Alexander-Arnold is perfection, and he just drifts one in. Emerson Royal's got to do better with that headed clearance. He must know Mo Salah's behind him. It's like a training ground goal where you just pop it back to someone, but the touch he just skips past. I think it's Bentancur who doesn't do anywhere near enough. But then, it's a gorgeous, curled strike into that far top corner. What a goal. I've just been talking about how I feel he improves Liverpool, brings a real impetus to the play, he's positive in everything that he does. I'm not down with the kids, so I'm not quite sure what that means.
He would appear to understand. Jurgen Klopp is forever a modern man. And Spurs have made the 3 pre-suggested changes. Skip, Richarlison, Maddison all with us. Kulusevski, Bentancur and Emerson Royal withdrawn. And here is Richarlison, former Evertonian. And here's Maddison. He's gone over Endo and won a free kick instantly.
Yeah, there's a point before that where Richarlison probably could have played a better ball through to Porro, but he breaks to Maddison, the edge of the box. He's got quick feet. Didn't want to risk what happened at the other end with Harvey Elliott, where he skipped past Bentancur, gives the foul away and trusts his goalkeeper on the free kick.
Well, last season here, Spurs did make up 3 goals and then lost to the odd goal in 7. Here, the mountain is steeper still. And this is a made-for-Madison moment.
Biggest wall possible in front of him.
James Maddison into that wall. Johnson, Porro, Sarr. Maddison again, and Maddison behind him. Now by Bissouma.
Basumas.
He's talked himself into the book.
He has, he snapped because he lost the ball, Harvey Elliott. His touch was poor. I think he buys the foul off Bissouma, and Bissouma feels like he's been played.
Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool are about to make a couple of changes here. Joe Gomez, we've got used to coming in and out of full-back, but the other one is actually the more significant one. Wataru Endo is going to give way here to Stefan Bajcetic, who will get, as warm as Endo's farewell is, perhaps an even warmer welcome. Robertson has his goal, but Bajcetic, you'll be aware, has been absent for a long, long time. He hasn't played in the Premier League since last March. He hasn't played at all since a League Cup tie here in September. And after a long and punishing road, he's going to get to kick a first-team ball again. A young player whose career has been caused to stall, but who now starts it all over again. Good luck to him. Still only 19, the Spaniard. Last game in the Premier League, a defeat at Bournemouth, 11th of March 2023. He has played a couple of games in Premier League 2 last month in preparation for this moment, which we've been fantasising about for weeks and months. Son, Richarlison, Son. Maddison. James Maddison. On for 3 minutes, he's had 3 shots.
Probably around the edge of the box. Wonder whether he may have looked to dink it over to Richarlison. You just watch it comes back to him. Richarlison makes a little, looking to make a little run in there. In that space between defence and goalkeeper.
Chetic. Punched by Sarr. Now staring down the barrel more than that, facing up to the near certainty of a 4th consecutive Premier League defeat for the first time in very nearly 20 years. Last time they lost 4 in a row, they actually lost 6 in a row in October, November 2004. The first 3 of those under Jacques Santini, who departed. And the second 3 were the first 3 games of Martin Jol's reign. Sequence which included an epic 4-5 home defeat by Arsenal, which was finally ended when Messrs Defoe and Canute scored goals against Middlesbrough at White Hart Lane. Maddison rolled through for Richarlison, and Richarlison saw Son, and Alisson came to block, and now the flag goes up, as I think more or less everyone anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking right across the line, and Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't even bother running back to say play to the whistle, but it was just so obvious.
Son gave the impression of wondering whether he should even bother shooting. Alexander-Arnold. So after this, Villa next Monday night, and then the grand finale here against Wolves, which might have been a monster match. As it is, it's likely just to be a gorgeous occasion. McAllister, Salah. Son for Richarlison. Son again, guided out by Van Dijk. And Liverpool would prize a clean sheet here if they can keep one. They're 8 games in the Premier League without one. Porro. McAllister lent in and has been penalised.
Yeah, Diaz and then nibble first, and then McAllister finished it off.
So inside the final quarter of the game, James Maddison over a dead ball. Again. Maddison beyond Richarlison. Kept alive by Son. Sarr. Johnson round the back. Couldn't make anything of it. One of the words he used in the week, Gary, was conviction. Conviction he wants to see restored to the Tottenham team. They don't appear quite to be believing at the moment.
No, I mean, they are in the midst of their most difficult run, both in form but also in fixtures as well. Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, they've got Manchester City to come. So it's not been easy, but they are flat. Arsenal have got a job to do at Old Trafford next weekend, and City have got a job to do at Fulham, but Arsenal fans, coaches, players will be looking at this Tottenham team and thinking, can they somehow raise their game for that game a week on Tuesday? It's looking doubtful as you see them here now in front of you.
Well, building up to that tasty period where City will be cheering for United and Arsenal cheering for Spurs. Maddison for Son. Son's away from Quansah. Gomez reached out for it. Diaz. McAllister. Elliott. He's been impish fun today. Diaz. Elliott. Trent are doing it again. Oliver Skip, currently Tottenham's left back. Porro.
He's one of those players, Harvey Elliott, that 10-15 years ago people would have been asking the question, well, where should we play and what system does he fit into? The game has evolved so much now that we find positions for players of that talent and skill.
Bissouma, that's a nicely weighted ball. Johnson, Richarlison. Tiny, tiny Tottenham goal, that. Very neat in its construction and immaculate in its completion by Richarlison. And a one-time Evertonian scores at Anfield.
Yeah, no clean sheet for Liverpool and consolation for Spurs. Johnson puts it across. It's a good finish. Alisson's making his way out towards Richarlison. He's an imposing figure. It's a cute little glance into that far corner.
This is actually one of his favourite grounds. That's his fourth goal at Anfield, Richarlison. He got the 3-3 equaliser here last year in the 93rd minute. Only for Jota to score in the 94th. Son, set down earlier and got away from by Cetic. Now by Van Dijk. There's tumbles. Sarr needs to be wary. His name's already been taken. Liverpool have a couple more changes to make here. Gravenberg and Darwin Núñez are going to get their turn. Coming off to accommodate them, Alexis McAllister. Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. Darwin Núñez takes his place.
Yeah, fresh legs for Liverpool just to see that the job gets done.
Spurs are replacing Sarr, who, as mentioned, is on the disciplinary edge with Giovanni Lo Celso. Salah, Elliott. Johnson, Nunez showed an interest, Porro sorted it out, and now the flag is up against Darwin Nunez. Tottenham, 2 home games next weekend against Burnley, and then the one to which Gary referred against Manchester City. They finish at Sheffield United. And it does remain for them, despite this, the outside possibility of catching up Aston Villa, but that requires Villa to go nowhere. Here's Skip. Richarlison and Son!
Oh.
Well, the 4-goal lead is cut in half. And Son does score at Anfield for the 4th consecutive time.
Well, many of you may have been thinking of switching off at home. I was thinking of switching off up here, but we might as well keep going. What's going on? It just could become a little bit embarrassing for Liverpool. Edge of offside, he just plays it back to Son, and there's an urgency. Son sprints after the ball. They fancy it all of a sudden.
I think there is going to be a bit of VAR scrutiny here around the offside issue.
Yeah, I mentioned it was on the edge of offside. I thought he was just on, and as I looked at it, I thought that Van Dijk looked the other side of him, but that orange boot, yeah, he's okay.
Richarlison, from his perspective, is the right side of the line, and Son Heung-min becomes the 2nd player in Premier League history to score in 5 consecutive games against Liverpool. 4 successive away games and 5 in all. Jamie Vardy did it in the absolute sweet spot of his Leicester existence between February 2016 and December 2017. And Vardy back in the Premier League next year. Well, if Spurs score the next one, it's interesting. Also came to Salah, now the whistle's gone.
Yeah, little things are starting to go against the home side.
Son, he's got between a pair of them. Son Heung-min tumbled under challenge from Quansah. And there's no glance at the referee.
Yeah, he just lost balance. So he tries a little trick, doesn't he, through the middle. Quansah and Alexander-Arnold loses his footing. But that front 4 of Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Son and Maddison are just causing a few problems here. Why wouldn't it? There's a lot of quality in it.
Nunez battled for it. Elliott has it. Mo Salah's joining in. Dinked in towards Salah. Beyond him is Elliott. Arriving is Gravenberch. And Salah has squirted it wide.
What was Van de Ven doing? Did he think it was his goalkeeper behind you? I wonder whether Mo Salah's actually shouted keepers or something. That's the only thing I can imagine, because I think Van de Ven, as this ball gets played across and then back in here, he's sort of like I think Van de Ven might think that the goalkeeper shouted for it or something's happened. He lets it go and then Mo Salah misses it as well.
It's also towards Johnson, read okay by Gomez. Lo Celso, chancing on the turn. Gary, you were at the North London derby last weekend, and Spurs kind of started chasing that when it was beyond them, almost.
Yeah, well, they've kept going. I mean, that's the one thing. He'll be frustrated. Thinking, what the hell's going on? He Bajcetic had a chance and threw him back on into midfield, thinking this game was done. The white shirts have come alive.
Burke, Alexander-Arnold, off goes Mo Salah, holding off Skip.
Offside, wasn't it?
Skip's challenge, and now the offside flag is up, so the penalty issue, assuming the offside call is deemed correct, will become immaterial.
Yeah, I thought it was offside. I was watching Salah's run because it should have got played through initially. Yeah, he's off. He wants it on that first one.
Liverpool have one more change to make, and I think they are minded to make it. Dominic Szoboszlai is ready. Alexander-Arnold saw the goalkeeper missing! Oh. Well, there have been periods when this has felt like a show game, an exhibition. Not so much now, but Alexander-Arnold was ready to pull a rabbit out of a hat.
How's he even seen it, let alone had the cheek and the skill to be able to strike it like that? It was hit perfectly, but just... Oh, it's a metre too high in the end, but he was rushing back, Vicario.
Well, Harvey Elliott has been a great entertainer today. It's been a fun-filled performance, which had one especially bright moment.
Yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant strike from Harvey Elliott. He's had a fantastic game.
He receives some love from the boss, and Dominic Szoboszlai fills the hole he leaves. Van Dijk, Bajcetic. Alexander-Arnold, but Szoboszlai couldn't get there. Well, it's never been dull, and it's not dull now. This is Jurgen Klopp's 20th game against Tottenham. 11 drawn, 6 lost, 2. Plus this, Porro. Oh, it's a fabulous ball. Richarlison. Muscled off it by Quansah. Son. Lo Celso. Richarlison. Maddison. Son. Lo Celso. Nunez. And then taking no chance. So next week, that is to say tomorrow week, Monday Night Football comes from Villa Park. Aston Villa against Liverpool. Could still be plenty on that. And there will certainly be plenty on the game next Tuesday the 14th. Spurs against Manchester City, Sky Sports Premier League from 7. And by Son, out by Van Dijk. Also with Salah, who comes up with the ball. Over the top by Alexander-Arnold, read by Van de Ven. Snatched by Szoboszlai. Salah. And Szoboszlai. For whom the angle never really looked promising.
No, the run's good, the pass is good. You just wonder whether he could have played it across goal. Difficult with Romero behind him.
Son. Richarlison. Could bounce to Johnson. Knocked away by Gomez.
Brilliant defending by Gomez.
They are checking the Gomez challenge on Johnson, who one way or another has taken a hit.
If the ball's there and he clears it, I don't know, that can be a foul. I have to say, the Richarlison run's fantastic, and Son's pass, he's caused real problems since he's come on. He gets his shot off, and I just think that's amazing defending from Joe Gomez. I mean, he may follow through and kick Johnston in the head, but what else is he expected to do? There is no way that can be given as a penalty.
Most of the damage to Johnson is done by the post.
Yeah. If that's given as a penalty, then all fullbacks need to go on strike. Yeah, the VAR is telling Paul Tierney just that the damage is done by the post, and it was a clean take of the ball by Gomez. Who can rest easy again? He's done well to get his foot up there for a start. It really caused a few nerves in this stadium in the last 5 minutes.
Salah by Van de Ven. Szoboszlai, Alexander-Arnold, Salah. Alexander-Arnold behind off Van de Ven. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. And after an alarming little passage, Liverpool can consider themselves again more or less home and dry. Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk met it.
So Salah's in a good space at the back post if he can just flick it down, but he heads it the other way.
Bissouma. Son. Maddison. Coached away again by Gomez. Skip. Bissouma. Touched in towards Bissouma. He couldn't latch on. Stoppage time, 7 minutes. It's not quite done. So looking to spin off Skip, who blindsided the referee. Certainly had a piece of his shirt.
Again, Richarlison.
Romero over the top, and there is Richarlison. Alexander-Arnold nicked it off his toe.
Yeah, just having that run of him behind, being really direct. The Brazilian again, just you see that little check back, and then Good touch.
Johnson, Maddison, Lo Celso, Son. It's bounced out for Salah. Also kept him from it.
He'll be a lot happier. The scoreline's a lot more respectable. It could have got at 4-0 really bad for Postecoglou. Just those couple of goals made Jurgen Klopp the angry one at the end.
Trent Alexander-Arnold has been booked here for delaying the restart. Last off skip, and Liverpool have another corner. And they won't be in a great hurry to take it. Szoboszlai in his own time. Szoboszlai, Van Dijk. Johnson turning away from Havenberg, but by Chetic is there to tidy up. Nunez. Handled. So Liverpool, assuming they hang on here, will be up to 78 points. That's only 4 behind Manchester City, but in Liverpool's case, with just 2 games to play, Liverpool's chances of being champions disappear the moment Arsenal or Manchester City win again. But at least, assuming no alarm in these late moments, they can say they will have taken it, strictly speaking at least, into the penultimate weekend. Here's Son. Away by Chetic, a lot of space ahead of Salah and Nunez. And Gakpo is galloping through the middle here. Darwin Nunez sets it. Van de Ven got between them. Yes, there's a handball question around Van de Ven. Charlison. Skip. Maddison, that check is complete. Alexander-Arnold, Nunez. He's got the place to himself here. Darwin Nunez. Mo Salah! And the flag's up.
Yeah, whereas Charlison at the other end has held his run at times when he's gone in behind that Liverpool defence. Nunez, I'm watching him. I think he just goes early. Maybe Romero just stepping up on him as well, that yard. But he does really well with this bit.
Son. Skip. Bissouma. Towards the corner.
Spurs have looked a lot better since they brought more footballers on the pitch. Lo Celso, Skip, Maddison got more control and fed those runners. Son, Charlison, Brennan Johnson, far better.
Alisson delivers. Alisson through the crowd did well to get a knuckle on that. Nunez. Porro touch tight and more. And your player of the match, Gary?
Yes, it's going to Liverpool's Harvey Elliott. What a wonderful goal. Really good all the way through the game. I think Gakpo had a good game. Kwanzaa was decent, but he was the number one, and having a little smirk. Andy Robertson, deservedly so.